So I'm going to do some density problems here. So the first one is calculate the density of a substance that weighs 4.50 grams and has a volume of 2.96 liters. The first thing to do is to convert liters to milliliters, because density is always going to be in grams per milliliters. So convert the liters to milliliters, which means 2.96 liters. Again, dimensional analysis. Liters goes down, milliliters goes up, and so 1 liter has 1000 milliliters. Cross out the liters. This is equal to 2.96 times 10 to the power of 3 milliliters. Now go ahead and calculate the density. Density is mass over volume. The mass is 4.50 grams. The volume is 2.96 times 10 to the power of 3 milliliters. Always write your units so you know what you're doing. The answer when you calculate is going to be 1.67286 times 10 to the negative 3 grams per milliliter. We need to make sure that we have the right units for it and the right number of significant figures. You started with 3 significant figures for each of the values, and so the final answer should be 3 significant figures, which is 1.67 grams, 1.67 times 10 to the negative 3 grams per milliliters, and that is your final answer then. Let's do another one. This is a little bit of a lengthy problem to write out, so you can forward it if you want to, but I'm going to say it out. So a shiny metal has a mass of 30.01 grams. Its volume is determined by placing in a graduated cylinder containing 56.3 milliliters of water. The volume after the metal is placed is 62.6 milliliters. What is the density of the metal? This is a classic displacement method problem. So you first find out the volume of the metal, which is found by subtracting 62.6, 56.3, so 62.6 minus 56.3 milliliters, and this gives us 6.3 milliliters. Remember our significant figures over here. Okay, this is subtraction, so you do only 1 decimal point. That's what we have in each. Density is again mass over volume. The mass of the solid is 30.01 grams. The volume is 6.3 milliliters. So once you do the calculation, it will be 4.76349 grams per milliliter. Now you have to round this off to the lowest significant figure, since this is division. Our lowest significant figures is 2, 6.3, so this comes out to be 4.8 grams per milliliter. So you can see how much of your accuracy you lost, okay, in doing this calculation. This is kind of what happens in the lab also, okay, where you end up losing some of your accuracy because your instruments are a little bit different. Third problem that we're going to do is, what is the weight of 3.00 milliliters of liquid if its density is 1.29 grams per mil. This problem is also of density, and of course now you're given the density, you're going to calculate the mass. So I'm going to solve this problem in two different ways. One is the cross multiplication way, and the other one is going to be dimensional analysis. Okay, so the first one, cross multiplication. So density is mass over volume. What you're trying to figure out here is mass, so you do the cross multiplication here, and so then mass is equal to density times volume. So you go ahead and put all the numbers in. 1.29 grams per milliliters times the volume, which is 3.00 milliliters of volume. So once you do the calculation, your answer should be 3.87 grams. Now the dimensional analysis works a little bit differently. In dimensional analysis, you start with what you know. In cross multiplication, you start with the formula that you have. In dimensional analysis, you start with the information that you have, which means the information we have is the volume, so 3.00 milliliters, and then you look for your conversion factor, and the conversion factor here we have is density, which is, let me show you over here, it's 1.29 grams per milliliters. Per milliliter means that it is 1 milliliter. So depending on what you're doing, you can do grams per 1 milliliter, or you can use 1 milliliter over 1.29 grams. So depending on what you're doing, you switch around your numbers according to your conversion factor. So here we are trying to figure out our mass. So we keep the mass on the top and milliliters at the bottom. So the mass is 1.29, and that is in 1 milliliter of substance. And so your answer should still come out to be the same, which is 3.87 grams of weight. Okay, you can do either method. Anything is fine with me so long you get the right answer. So these are three different kinds of density problems.